Hello, my name is Andrew Thake from Minds and Money. Delighted to be joined today by Kris Knauer, who's the Managing Director of Challenger. Delighted to have you with us today, Kris.
Thank you, Andrew, and lovely to be on.
Kris, for those people who are listening in who don't know much about Challenger, can you give us a brief background about the company?
Yeah, sure. South American focused, gold developer, 2 projects, lead project in San Juan, Argentina, 2.1 million ounce gold resource open in all directions. Resource upgrade due soon, probably as serendipity has it, due about a week after the Miami conference. We're going through a PEA at the moment. Our second project in Ecuador, big bulk gold deposit, sits about 5 k's along strike from a 15 million ounce ore body, and the kind of results we're getting in our first drilling program are 500 meters at 0.5, 0.6 grams gold, holes that are 200, 300 meters at a gram and a half gold. So a big bulk gold deposit. We believe very much.
I was actually looking at the mining companies that have come to our Minds and Money events recently, and I've certainly seen an uptick in attendance from mining companies with Latin American-based projects. Can you just talk a little bit about Argentina and Ecuador as mining jurisdictions for our listeners who may not be familiar?
Yeah, so look, Argentina, the key is what province you're in. If we had this deposit in, say, Mendoza province next door, you'd never get a mine up and running. We're in San Juan, where you've got Barrick with Velaredo, you've got Jose Maria, you've got Glencore with El Pachon, pro-mining jurisdiction. It's a great jurisdiction, consistently voted the #1 jurisdiction in South America. Second project, Ecuador. Ecuador is a little bit more politically volatile. Things are doable. Probably the difference with Ecuador to Argentina is you've got to spend 2 or 3 times as much money on community environment in Ecuador than you do in Argentina.
So over the course of the next, say, 6 to 18 months, what are the key milestones and catalysts that potential investors can expect to hear from Challenger?
Yeah, so look, as I said at the start, we've got a resource upgrade at Hualilan, which is based on another 75,000 meters of drilling. First resource is based on 125,000 meters of drilling. We've started a PEA, which should be finished in June, July this year. We'll roll straight into a pre-feas, which will be finished by the end of the year. So 3 big milestones in our lead project in Argentina. And then in our Ecuadorian project, about May this year, you'll get a maiden resource from a 30,000 meter drill program, which I think will give the market a taste of just the scale of that project.
And of course, you're backed by an excellent management team. Can you first of all just tell us about yourself and how you came to work for Challenger?
Yeah, so look, my background, I'm a GA by training, spent a fair bit of time as an investment banker, then got tired of that. Went out, started a company called Citadel Resources. We had assets in Saudi, put the whole thing together, raised the first 50 million, ended up as $1 billion takeover. It came with a great management team who had the project as well. Scotty Funkston is my CFO. Scott's recently come out of Avanco, where they took a startup in Brazil through production and were taken out by Oz Minerals. My exploration manager, Stuart Munro, is ex-head of geology for SRK in Australia, top geologist. And we've got a new hire we're working on at the moment that I think watch this space for 3 weeks and you'll see someone who's run a very large mine in South America join us as we sort of transition into a developer.
And you've also got a strong investor base as well. Can you just briefly talk us through who your key shareholders are?
Yeah, so look, firstly, management have skin in the game. Management combines about 20% of the company, so interests are aligned with shareholders. Largest institutional shareholder is BlackRock out of London, who own 13% of the company. They've been fantastic supportive shareholder. They prorated in any capital raise we've done. And Queen's Road Capital, which is a Canadian listed long-only fund, they recently put $15 million US into it. And basically, I know that if we need money in the future, I just have to go talk to QRC. They've been really supportive.
And you're coming to Minds and Money Miami. Can you just talk us through your sort of reasoning for that? Is it to reach out to US investors or?
Yeah, look, it's to reach out to US investors. We've never really marketed in North America, which sounds odd, but we're a we're an Australian listed company with Latin American assets, quality assets that I think North American investors will really like. And, that seems to be where you actually get value for having Latin American assets. We've just been focused on basically taking the company from what was, a sort of a startup with a market cap of about $8 million to the point where it's actually ready to, I think, go talk to North American investors. And, as we 2 million ounce resource transitioning to a producer, I think we're at the stage where, let's finally go and launch the company to North American investors. And this conference is the starting platform.
Mm-hmm. And if you had to just identify a couple of unique selling points that separate you out from your peers, what would you sort of say are those kind of top two or three key things that you'd like to identify?
Yeah, so look, you look at our peer group, and it's a small peer group. There's not many companies with a 2 million ounce resource with some grade that isn't in production. They're scarce as hen's teeth. They're normally taken out. That's why our peer group trades at around about $160 to $180 an ounce. At the moment, we're trading at less than half that, so we're cheap. We're getting zero value for Ecuador, where you will see a fairly significant resource in 2 or 3 months. And, as we get down the value chain of completing a PEA, completing a PFS, we should get re-rated, towards, our peer group in terms of value per ounce, not to mention a reasonably sizable resource upgrade coming in Argentina and effectively first resource in Ecuador.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Kris. We look forward to seeing you and meeting in person at Mines and Money, Miami. That was Kris Knauer, the Managing Director of Challenger. Thank you very much for your time today, Kris.
Thanks very much, Andrew.